Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're cracking open a highly strategic playbook. We're talking about exactly what it takes to secure a multi-year supply contract with Dabur India Limited. Dabur is, frankly, a massive global giant in Ayurveda, natural healthcare, and consumer goods. But here's the thing. As global wellness trends aggressively shift toward traceable, residue-free, and ethically harvested ingredients, Dabur is completely rewriting how it buys its raw materials. So if you're an agricultural cooperative, an organic producer, or a natural ingredient processor, well, the rules of engagement have completely changed. Consider this explainer your direct roadmap to becoming a preferred vendor.
Okay, let's dive into this. How exactly do agricultural cooperatives and SME manufacturers crack the incredibly complex code of corporate procurement? I mean, from the outside, it often feels like a total black box, doesn't it? You might have phenomenal organic products, literally the best ashwagandha or amla in your region, but getting a corporate monolith to actually notice you, let alone sign a multi-year contract, it seems almost impossible. Well, the secret lies in understanding exactly what they're buying right now, and more importantly, how they structure those buying decisions.
We basically need to reframe our entire approach. The old way? That was just bulk commodity trading. You grow a crop, you try to sell it at the absolute lowest bulk price, and you just hope a corporate buyer picks it up. That era is dead and gone for a company like Dabur. The new way, really the only way in, is positioning yourself as an integrated biosourcing and botanical science partner. Dabur's competitive edge today relies entirely on securing high-purity, sustainable raw materials that strictly align with their long-term environmental, social, and governance mandates. Their ESG goals. You aren't just selling them herbs anymore. You are selling compliance, safety, and a true scientific partnership.
To get you there, we've broken this playbook down into 5 specific sections. 1. The strategic opportunity. 2. Dabur's sustainability mandates. 3. Navigating the 3 gateways. 4. Structuring your winning pitch. And 5. The 5-step vendor roadmap.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the strategic opportunity. We really need to understand what Dabur is actively looking for in today's shifting market.
The absolute most crucial point here is that passing the corporate test means becoming a partner who solves their most pressing environmental and raw material challenges. Dabur is actively modernizing its entire supply chain. Why? Well, they have a strict mandate to eliminate synthetic pesticide contamination. Plus, they have to lower their Scope 3 carbon footprints. And remember, Scope 3 means the emissions that come from their supply chain, which means you. They're actively trying to replace imported or untraceable materials with locally produced high-purity inputs directly from farm-to-factory networks. If you can help them hit those exact targets, you instantly become a massive strategic asset to them.
Moving right along to Section 2, Dabur's sustainability mandates. Think of these as the baseline rules of the game you absolutely must meet before you even attempt to pitch.
Now, what's really interesting here is that these aren't just corporate buzzwords. These are hard, non-negotiable requirements for vendor selection. First up, zero contamination and clean label. You have to provide batch testing that proves your materials are completely free from synthetic pesticides, heavy metals, microplastics, and microbial contaminants. Second, traceable and ethical cultivation. You need a rock-solid farm-to-factory line of custody. Are your methods sustainable? Do you support rural grower communities? And third, low carbon and circular supply. That means using eco-friendly extraction methods and putting your product in recyclable or minimal plastic packaging. Honestly, if you can't tick these 3 boxes, your application won't even make it past the first desk.
Let's jump into Section 3, Navigating the 3 Gateways. This is the absolute core of the playbook, where we break down this massive corporate monolith into 3 highly approachable entry doors.
Gateway A is for the science-heavy suppliers. Think of it as the Spec-In authority. You're targeting the Dabur Research Foundation, or DRF. If you make standardized botanical extracts, high-potency organic actives, or natural functional ingredients, you don't go to generic procurement. No way. You pitch directly to the DRF scientists. Your singular goal here is technical validation. You want to get Spec'd in, meaning your ingredient is written right into the mandatory bill of materials for new formulations. Once your exact material is certified at this R&D stage, it becomes the standard requirement for their manufacturing plants. You essentially become irreplaceable for that specific product line.
Then we have Gateway B, the direct biosourcing network. This door is tailor-made for agricultural cooperatives and farmers. Your target is the herbal sourcing division. What you're going after here are multi-year raw commodity contracts for things like amla, honey, giloy, ashwagandha, and rare medicinal herbs. The pitch is all about direct collaboration.
If you can offer fully traceable USDA or NPOP certified organic products or sustainably wildcrafted herbs with verified bioactive profiles, you get to bypass the middleman entirely and plug straight into their primary supply chain. Finally, Gateway C, the co-packer and primary processor ecosystem. Honestly, this is a brilliant backdoor. Dabur relies on a huge network of approved Tier 1 extractors, essential oil processors, and contract packers. If you supply certified organic carrier oils, raw extracts, or eco-friendly packaging, getting in with these designated Tier 1 processors means rapid volume absorption. You get immediate, ongoing purchase orders without having to wait the months or literally years it takes for central brand formulations to be developed at corporate.
Section 4, Structuring Your Winning Pitch. It's time to translate your company's value into the exact corporate procurement language that Dabur speaks.
Look, the fastest way to bomb a pitch is to give a generic presentation to the wrong person. We need to translate this dense corporate structure. If you're talking to the head of procurement, keep it focused on bulk commodities and smooth vendor onboarding. But actually scratch that if you're meeting with lead scientists at DRF. They don't care about your bulk pricing up front. They are hyper-focused on ingredient efficacy and bioactive stability. Meanwhile, the head of sustainability, they want to hear all about your biodiversity and carbon offset initiatives. And the business head for private labels is your go-to for specialized packaging solutions. You absolutely must tailor your message to the specific metric your stakeholder actually evaluates.
So how do you avoid generic fluff? You build your proposition on 3 equally weighted pillars. First up, purity and yield guarantees. Don't just say you have high quality, show them the testing data. Prove you have 0 heavy metals and consistent active compounds, like specific withanolide content in your ashwagandha. Second, cost of ownership optimization, also known as VOV. Demonstrate how your local organic sourcing actually lowers logistics costs or improves efficiency compared to imported ingredients. It's not just about unit price, it's total cost of ownership. And third, traceability proof. Come fully armed with GPS-mapped farm data or chain of custody documents proving your ethical harvesting.
Bringing us to Section 5, the 5-step vendor roadmap. You've got your pitch, you know your gateway, and you know your stakeholder. Now let's look at the chronological sequence to actually finalize that contract.
Let's see how this all builds together. Step 1 is digital vendor registration. You submit your ISO, FSSI, and organic docs directly to their portal. Step 2 is the technical pitch. You send validated raw material samples along with an NABL-accredited certificate of analysis straight to the DRF. Step 3 is the facility audit. If your lab results shine, Dabur's QA and ESG teams will physically visit your plant or farm to verify your standards in person. Step 4 is the commercial trial. Upon approval, you get a pilot batch order to prove you can deliver consistency under actual factory conditions. And finally, Step 5 is contract finalization. You scale up and sign that multi-year master service agreement, locking in pricing and quality guarantees.
We'll wrap up this explainer with a really powerful thought that summarizes everything we've talked about. Demonstrating technical consistency, purity assurance, and traceable sourcing provides the foundation for establishing a scalable, multi-year supply relationship. If you can master those 3 elements, consistency, purity, and traceability, you are no longer just some local vendor fighting over pennies. You are a highly sought-after, strategic corporate partner. Yes, it takes rigorous documentation and precise pitching, but the blueprint is right there for the taking. So looking at your own supply chain right now, which of those 3 Dabur gateways are uniquely positioned to walk through first? Think about it, structure your pitch, and take that first step. Thanks for joining us on this explainer, and keep learning.